Shalom. Welcome to Building Bridges, where we not only desire to build people, but to build myself in the things of Yahweh and build bridges or connections to what? People all over the world. Well, we still in this same vein of let all things be done decently and in order. Yes. And when we left off, I left y'all saying that I was going to return to the phrase learned behavior. We were dealing in the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 26. And to just quickly recap, what we were dealing with was the parable that Yeshua was sharing. He talked about the one he gave 5 talents to, the one that he gave 2 talents to, and we've been constantly dealing with the one that he gave the 1 talent to. Come on here. All I gave you was 1 job. That's it. That's all he gave him. But let's go to that Matthew 25 and 26. And I'm going to wrap this portion of let all things be done decently in order up today. And it reads, and his Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sow not and gather where I have not strawn. And what we found out by definition was that the word slothful there is a Greek word which actually means to hesitate. And this is what we were dealing with last week. And when we were dealing with the word hesitate, we found out that hesitation actually came from fear. It came from the lack of confidence. It came from the lack of information. And it also came from overthinking. But look, I want to dig a little deeper into that word hesitation. When I looked at that word hesitation again, the problem that this servant had was a problem with hesitation. This is a problem that some of us have, is that we have a problem with hesitation. And when I looked up the word hesitation, according to the online etymology dictionary.com, I know that was a mouthful right there. It means to remain fixed. Look at that right there. Hesitation, by definition, according to www.dictionary.com, means not subject to change, firmly set in the mind. So look at this word hesitation. It means remain fixed, according to the etymology of the word. When we go back to the roots of it, Elijah, the prophet, he asked the people, he said, how long halt ye between 2 opinions? If Yahweh be Yahweh, follow him, right? And if Baal be Baal, follow him. But look, he said, how long halt ye between 2 opinions? So that made me go dig that word up. And when you dig up the word halt, believe it or not, it means to hesitate. Oh, my goodness. So what I'm asking you today is, how long are you going to hesitate between 2 opinions? So if I asked you today, what is this that's on my finger? You would answer that this is a ring. If I ask you today, how many fingers am I holding up? Some of y'all are going to say 5. The answer is wrong because it's 4 fingers and a thumb. That's just a little joke there. But see, you can quickly answer that because you're not hesitating in your answer. You know what it is. So when Yahweh tells us a certain thing, come on here, we got to operate just like I operated when I asked you, what was that ring? That's a ring. How many fingers? That's how many fingers in the thumb it is. You see what I'm saying? So we can't be fixed into that position or halt in between 2 opinions. Come on here. There's no opinion. Yahweh is Yahweh. Yeah. But look at the word there also. The word halt also means hop. He said, how long are you going to hop between 2 opinions? And this morning it came to me, the first thing came to my mind was Prince Hakeem from Coming to America. I know y'all remember this scene when he was dealing with the princess, and he went into the room and he said, he asked her a series of questions, and all of her answers was whatever you like. Y'all remember that? He said, okay. I want to know what you like. And he said, what is your favorite? Do you have a favorite food? And she said, yes. He said, good. He said, what is your favorite food? She said, whatever you like. And he was like, oh my, he paused like, oh my goodness. So he said, you telling me if whatever I tell you to do, you going to do it? And she said, yes, your highness. He said, hop on one foot. She went to hopping on one foot. Then he said, bark like a dog. She went to, arf, arf, arf. He said, a big dog, roo, roo, roo. He said, now like an orangutan, ooh, ooh, ooh. And by that time, the father came in and he was like, oh, good, the king. He was like, I see y'all getting along. Now let's fast forward 30 years later. If y'all seen Coming to America 2, she was still stuck hopping. Come on here and making the orangutan noise on one foot. So she was hesitated. And look, so what we found out is that the word meant remain fixed. So how long are we going to remain fixed and stuck in what the enemy has set in us? See, the enemy knows our power. He knows what our power is, baby. I shared this quote with you. I told you I was going to pull it in. He knows what our power is, and he knows what our weakness is. And he uses our weakness to gain access to our power. Come on, is anybody listening to me? So whatever it is that you're working with, what the Father is saying is that I need you to have a clear understanding in that and move in it, because if you don't, the enemy is going to take what you have and utilize it for his kingdom and not mine. We have to understand that the enemy is out to do nothing but psychological warfare against our minds. What is psychological warfare? Psychological warfare is a process that the enemy uses to influence, watch this, our opinions, our emotions, our attitudes, and our behavior. Whew, goodness gracious. So he's looking to come on here to take over our attitudes. Come on here. When you got an attitude that you know it's not coming from Yahweh, why is you walking around in that attitude? It's because the enemy has done psychological warfare on you. Just mad about nothing. Are you listening to what I'm saying? Your emotions. Come on here. You on the emotional roller coaster, just rocking and reeling and rolling all over the place. You got to realize that psychological warfare is happening on you right now. And I'm telling you right now, this is a form of hesitation. Whew, goodness gracious. So where I said I was going to leave off was what? The term learned behavior, right? Yeah. And learned behavior, watch this. I got to read it here. Is indecisiveness. Indecisiveness can be a learned behavior. People who are raised in environments where decision making, watch this, is seen as an opportunity to learn and grow tend to feel more comfortable in making choices. So what happens to a lot of us is that we come from a past where we weren't taught, come on here, how to operate when pressure was on us. Are you listening to what I'm saying? So this behavior was passed down to us. So a learned behavior, what we got to understand, is developed through experiences, come on here, from our past. It's developed through experiences from our present, and it doesn't come from birth, meaning it is acquired through interactions that we have gone through in our time on this planet. But look at this. It can be modified, come on here, and it can be changed. Come on here. Come on here. Yahweh is saying that I'm coming to change your change. So you learn behavior. Learned behavior creates who you are at the moment. Moses asked the Father, who should I tell the children of Israel sent me? And the Father answered by saying this. He said, tell them I am that I am sent thee. So what we got to know is that everything is explained in Yahweh's name. Come on here, somebody. Everything is in his name. So his name is important. Are you listening to what I'm saying? So this means that we have to be careful after the I am. Hold on, I don't think somebody caught that. We got to be careful when we say I am. Come on here, I'm talking to you, my listeners. Come on here, to my bricklayers. Come on here, to my scholars. We have to be careful with everything that comes after I am, because a lot of our identity, come on here, is tied to the I am, and a lot of the things that we claim is not Yahweh's identity. Come on here. I'm just like that. No, you're not. You're not just like that. This is how I operate. Come on here. No, that ain't how you operate. I'm a Pisces. Come on here. Come on here. You claiming all of these different attributes, come on here, that Yahweh has nothing to do with. Come on here. I'm a Sorah. Come on here. I'm in this frat. I'm in this sorority. Come on here. I'm a Q-dog. Come on. I don't care. Come on here. Listen. I am is a powerful statement. And what you do is you tie everything that is not of Yahweh to you when you use it incorrectly. So when we hesitate to do the right thing in the time that we need to, it's because of a term that's called conditioning. And conditioning is the process of training a person to accept certain circumstances. So this is what's happened to a lot of us. Many of our lives are a product of conditioning, meaning our past, present, come on here, our past things that we have gone through has caused us to be conditioned to a certain thing. Whew, goodness gracious. It affects our perspectives, our decision making, shaping who we are today. So this is why we have to be careful with the scripture that says, I have been set free. No, that ain't the scripture. It's I have been made free, which means that you have formed into it. You have become it. The definition of lunacy, come on here, when you keep on doing the wrong things over and over, come on here, it is nothing but insanity. Come on here. That's the definition of lunacy. That's the definition of you constantly doing the same thing over and over. So how long are we going to walk and be acceptance of ineffectiveness? Yeah. So if this woman has been hopping on one foot, come on here, for 30 years, don't you think that it's a time? Come on here. Some of us have been hopping on one foot in a certain thing in our lives and barking like a dog for a long time. Don't you think that it's time for us to change our strategies? Yeah. T.D. Jakes said something that I thought was powerful. I heard in this past week. He said, and I got to read the quote. He said, we are loyal to ineffectiveness and we date effectiveness, but we marry ineffectiveness. Come on here. That's real heavy, my people. We have to separate ourselves from ineffectiveness. And we have to understand that this conditioning, if we're not careful, will take us down into a vein that we don't want to be in. There's an experiment that I remember from some time ago when I used to study psychology, social psychology. How many of you heard about the dog that salivates when he hears the bell? Well, quickly, let me go into that. What happens is that this scientist, he discovered that you can condition or train a dog to do a certain thing with a stimulus. So what the scientist did, he gave the dog a bowl of food, and the dog would salivate because he saw the food. But every time he gave him the food, he would ring a bell. So he did this for weeks at a time, and then he took away the bowl and he rang the bell and the dog started to salivate. So what this is conditioning. The dog learned to salivate and there was not even any food present. Come on here. How many of us, when you smelled a certain thing, come on here, it took you to a certain place in your mind? Are you listening to what I'm saying? When you smelled a certain food, it reminds you of what grandma or this party or whatever that I was at. Come on here. When you listen to certain music, it affects a certain emotion, evoke the emotion inside of you. This is programming that has happened to you. This is psychological warfare that we got to be careful of, that Yahweh wants to separate us from, because the enemy is trying to use it against us. Come on here, somebody listening to me. Whew. So we have to respond to change. Come on here. As the time changes. Are you listening to me? Yes. So here's an important consideration. We have to understand that hesitation does not define us. Conditioning does not define us. The enemy does not define us. While our past does influence, come on us, it does not define us. We have to grow. We have to change. And watch this. We have to overcome, my people. Are you listening to what I'm saying? So this is what Yahweh wants to do. He wants to give us this confidence, as my wife said. That's what you said, baby? What did you just say? Come on, give it to me. Come on here. We are more than conquerors. Look, I got her back there behind the camera. Are you listening to me? She be dropping stuff. We are more than conquerors. So this is what we have to do is we have to move mightily when Yahweh says it's time for us to move. No longer hesitate. Because hesitation manifests in the person's behavior, which means that they are not committed to a course of action and they avoid making decisions. What I'm saying to you today, my people, is that it's time to make decisions accordingly. So as I said, we going to wrap this on up today. So as always, I like to give y'all some tools. Y'all ready for them? Yes. And here's some tools how we can be more than overcomers. Tool number one, we going to get over this hesitation, my bricklayers. Tool number one, be spiritually and consciously engage with what's going on in the present moment. Are you listening to what I'm saying? Be spiritually and consciously engage in what is going on in the present moment. 2, don't believe everything your flesh thinks. That's heavy right there. Don't believe what your body is telling you right now. Don't believe what your nephesh, which is the Hebrew word for flesh, which still sounds like flesh. Don't believe what your flesh is telling you, because your flesh, come on here, has been programmed according to this world. But listen to your spirit man, which leads us into number 3. Get out of your head, which is your flesh, and into your spirit man. Whew, is this not good? Come on, somebody hit that thumbs up at the bottom. Like, comment, and subscribe. Come on here. And if you're not part of the family, join us. Subscribe today. Number 4, be confident in Yahweh and his word, which this should have been number 1. Come on here. Believe it, as my wife said. Number 5, know who you are in Yahweh, what he wants, and where you are heading. Come on here. You got to know without a shadow of a doubt, just as I said to you earlier, when I asked you what this was, you said a ring. When I asked you how many this was, you gave me the explanation for that. You have to know. Come on here. That's what the scripture says. It said, you shall know. Come on here. Ain't that what Yeshua said? You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Come on here. Who is this not good? So good. Come on here. There's plenty of tools, but I'm just giving you these 6. And why am I giving you 6? Because number 6 represents the number of man. It represents the flesh. I'm giving you something to conquer the flesh. Yes. Number 6, trust in Yahweh that you will find a way through regardless of the outcome, and that you are going to be fine no matter what, because he cares for you. What does the scripture say? Cast all our cares upon him, because what? He cares for us. He cares for us. Come on here. I got my Bible scholar behind it. Come on, a living, walking Bible behind this camera. Y'all listen to what I'm saying. So these are the tools. These are some that I want you to just go back. If you have to fast forward this video and say, I need these tools, I need to listen to it again. And what I'm going to do also, I'm glad y'all stuck with me. What I'm going to do also is I'm going to put it in the description. Please check out these descriptions behind every message. Come on here, to make sure that you get this information that I'm dropping, which is going to be very heavy. So I hope that you enjoyed this message, and please Stick with us because we're going into the final part of this message next week. I'm finally finna take y'all to Bereshit, which is in the beginning. In the beginning. Yeah, there it is. All right, my bricklayers, my people. I hope this message has blessed you. Come on here, that we come out of this psychological warfare, that we come out of hesitation. Come on here. I pray that my people come out of overthinking. I pray that my people come out of the spirit of fear. Come on here. I pray that my people no longer lack confidence, and I pray that my people no longer lack information. And if this message has blessed you, as I said just a little while ago, come on, hit that thumbs up. Come on here, subscribe if you're not a part of this family. And if this is really giving you value, come on here, be the salt of the earth and share it with somebody else. Just hit that share button. It look like an arrow saying that away. Come on here, get it out to other people so that we can continue to grow, not just the Building Bridges platform, but the kingdom of Yahweh. I hope this has blessed y'all, and y'all know that I love you, and y'all know how I ends this. Shalom.